can see some of them are even senior to me. And whoever the journalists present here, the media persons, I thank once again for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts in this the land of festivals. So first, then we come to why we observe this particular day as the National Press Day. This is just to reverberate the objectives given by the Press Council, the objectives to be achieved during its service by the different press, different media, like the freedom. So we have this, the editorial freedom and the ethics to be maintained and the responsibilities to be taken up, being a media, being a journalist, in the state, in the nation. So once those objectives were adopted by the Press Council of India about this press freedom, to improve the standard of journalistic ethics and the about the standard of newspaper as well as the news agencies, and moreover to foster the due sense of responsibility. So here, when I mention this responsibility, is where I like to highlight modern functions of the media, how responsible the media should be. So it is a step ahead the function that we have. And as per the importance of being importance of media to be part of a nation building, why we are giving this media, or why we are considering it as the fourth pillar of democracy. So when we talk about democracy, like it's a form of government, as all of us are very much aware of that. And already we have very strong pillars: judiciary, legislature, and executive, to make the law, to execute the law, and to serve the law. And beyond that, and above that, there are something which now we came to know as media. So we are considering media as the fourth pillar of democracy by realizing the importance, the responsibility of being its existence as a part of nation building. So this media, as we know, it serves, or it is the bridging, or it is the link that bridges between the government and the public, whatever the policies, plans for the society, for the nation to progress more. It is through media that the people get to know about it. And at the same time, if the people, the vulnerables, if we got any problem, if we have any shortcomings, and if we have grievances, then it is the only ultimate weapon is media. Through the media, like we make our grievances and reach to the government, to the authorities. So how powerful media only we came to know when we embrace, or when we hold the responsibility, not only the role. So nowadays we all are much educated about the media, its role, and what we are lacking, some of us, is about the responsibilities. So when we use this media without the responsibility, then it will be turned into something, a very destructive weapon. Other than the journalists, also all the people who are very much aware about the fundamental rights, all are claiming that this is our fundamental rights. And very few of us are looking or practicing the duties. We forgot the fundamental duties. Always we keep fundamental rights. Same thing here, we are always looking for the right of freedom of speech and expression, which is enshrined in the Constitution of India in Article 1918. What about this freedom of speech and expression, and what about its limitations or restrictions? We are very much aware. Even school-going children also know about this fundamental rights, the press freedom. Yeah, we have the right, we have the freedom of speech and expression, we have the freedom of press. Yeah, it is enshrined in the Article 19(1)(a). But very few of us are flipping the page and see to the next clause, the clause 2 of Article 19, reasonable restrictions. Why? Where it comes to responsibility, the ethics. So we have to look once again to the Article 19(2) also. Because here in the Article 19(2), like it is a precautionary kind of measures. So whatever we explain or whatever we have in the Article 19(1)(a), it is not an absolute. It is not 100% free or 100% freedom. It is not like the 007, no, we have license to kill. It is not like that. It is not absolute. It is not 100%. Because in the further explanation of this article 19(1)(a), or the press freedom shall not affect the operation of any existing law. And it should not prevent the state from making any law. So what does this mean? It means we can explain very vastly. It should not disturb any existing law. Means there are hundreds of laws in the Constitution, and your Article 19(1)(a) should not affect it. You have the right of freedom of speech and expression, but you don't have the right to offend somebody's fundamental right. So it should not affect other articles, other laws, as well as it should not prevent the state from making any new law. And following to that, says that whatever you are publishing, it should be in the for the interest of the sovereignty and integrity of India. Whatever you are publishing should be in favor of the public, means for the sovereignty and integrity of India, and it should be security of the states, in the interest of the security of the states, and it should be in the interest of the relations with the foreign states. So it should not, your publication should not bring any hamper, should not bring any disturbance in the security of the state as well as the relations with the foreign nations, foreign states. And moreover, it explains about some terms that we are very much aware, like the contempt of court, defamation, the morality and decency. Means whatever we are having this right, it should be go within the context of this interest of the public, like public order, decency and morality, and in relation to contempt of court or defamation. Means your publication should not defame, should not contemn any court proceedings, should not contemn any parliamentary proceedings. Even though you may have the right to express, but it should not breach some others' law, some others' rules, proceedings, like we have court proceedings, parliamentary proceedings, and you should not disturb somebody's personal lives by defamation, by sedition writings. You should not challenge, and no writing should contain anything that incite the people to wage war or to bring any trouble in the society. So it's very clearly mentioned in that reasonable restrictions, which is discussed in Article 19(2). Means any publication should not bring any incitement to do any offense. And so with these new technologies and new gadgets, messages, informations are flooded. But since the early morning till the late night, we have been flooded with different informations. Maybe a gossip, maybe important news, and rumor. But who will take the responsibilities of all this flooded information? We are working in the media, we have these rules, regulations to control ourselves. What about the general public? Who will control them? So it is a high time that just not being a journalist, but being a responsible citizen, we have to aware our younger generations that how they have to use or how they have to share messages. And once again, before we are sharing through this new media, new technologies, we need to see whether such media have the authentic source or not, whether they are good to be shared, whether they are the authentic message to be shared. Means you should have to take the responsibility to check once again, unless we will be same as those common people, without any reason also sharing messages, information, pictures, videos. Okay, so we have to be a little different in the sense we have to be a little more aware about the responsibilities of using media.
The responsibility of media in nation building. So when I was thinking about it, immediately two things come into my mind. Firstly, in fact, every day we make ourselves as a part in nation building. In fact, whatever we write, whatever we report, whatever we share through the media that we are using. In fact, it can be compared to a piece of brick that we use in building our buildings. So as we write, even for me as I write my editorial every day, I consider it as a brick in building the nations. So whatever I share with my readers, I take it as my humble idea of building my nation. So when I think about it, I think the all-seeing and the consideration of the responsibility of the media as a watchdog is something which we should think beyond that. I think media is not only a watchdog. Our responsibility is not only to keep the things guarded or watch the things, what is happening and report. But I think we should also make ourselves as a source where ideas generate to build our nation. So I think that is the area where we should keep our thoughts and collectively try to go beyond our responsibility just as a watchdog.
Thank you so much for this time. First of all, I would like to thank our team speaker, Dr. Naorem Nishikanta Singh, for your time. I believe that it has been a timely reminder and a very important reflection for the media community here on what he has spoken. To be responsible, he has reminded us on our powers and also on the role that we need to play as a journalist. And so thank you so much for your time. I also would like to thank the Rotary Club of Dimapur for partnering with us in organizing this event. I believe that we have also members from Rotary Club of Kohima, so we welcome you as well. We would also like to welcome and also thank you for your presence. I also would like to thank the editors of the various newspapers and media organizations who have come to be part of this celebration today. I also thank the chairperson, Kanili Kiho, and Tasungtitla Lungkamer for delivering their welcome address. Thank you so much for not failing the program. We also would like to, the Dimapur Press Club would also like to thank the press community who have come forward to participate and be part of this celebration. Indeed, we were not actually expecting the turnout that we see here today because we had some difficulties in getting organized the program, but we are so very grateful that for each and every one of you who have come in. I would also like to thank the office bearers, especially few of them who have taken the responsibility to make this program happen no matter what. So thank you so much, colleagues and friends who have, given so much effort to make this program a success. Having said that, I believe that it has been a very simple yet very thoughtful and thought-awakening program for us, and it also leaves the Dimapur Press Club with a bigger question of how do we also utilize the responsibilities that is upon us as a club for the welfare of our community, for the media community.